I've lived in 5 different countries in Africa. I've lived in Malawi, Botswana, Zambia, Morocco, and Nigeria. I have also travelled extensively in South Africa, Zimbabwe, Namibia, and Egypt. Never once in all my years of living or travelling on the African continent have I been mistreated in any way because of my ethnicity, because of my skin colour. And this is in spite of the fact that I come from a country who are guilty for some of the worst colonial crimes ever inflicted throughout human history. That's right, I was born in Great Britain. And without doubt, the British and the French committed the greatest atrocities across the continent of Africa. The Belgians have a good claim for the greatest atrocity in their treatment of the Congolese, but if one looks at it as an entity and the number of countries that were invaded by the British and French colonialists, one will see that they are the worst protagonists. Despite this, and despite the behavior of my ancestors, I have never been mistreated. In fact, I have been welcomed warmly in all of the countries I have lived in or visited. And when in Africa, I don't cocoon myself in some enclave dome which is inhabited by people who like to refer to themselves as expats. I hate that term. But no, I integrate as much as possible within local society. I will go to a shebeen. I will go to any compound and experience life as it is for people in the country where I am based. So whether that's in the village, whether it's in the township, whether it's in the local bar, I will integrate, I will mix, and I am always made welcome. Now contrast that with the way many Africans are treated when they choose to live in the United Kingdom or France or other parts of Europe. The difference is incredible. The everyday racism experienced by African people on the European continent is a crime against humanity. Now, there are different types of racism. The most obvious is the day-to-day experience that an African will have whilst living in parts of Europe. The name calling, the staring, the subtle discrimination. And for many Africans, they will just brush it off because it is so common that they just get used to it, sadly. Worse, though, is the institutional and structural racism that Africans have to abide with. The restrictions on their movements, the fact that most passports emulating from the African continent will only allow Africans to travel visa-free to a handful of countries. And most of those will be other African countries or countries in the Caribbean. And moreover, the difficulty that Africans have finding work in Europe is unimaginable. People who are qualified as doctors, accountants, lawyers, university lecturers, nurses, teachers do not have their qualifications and experiences recognized by most European countries. I know many people from Africa working in various parts of Europe as security guards or as care assistants when back home they had highly skilled professional jobs. But that experience is rarely recognized when they come to Europe unless they come as part of a transfer with an existing company. But if they come because they've migrated to Europe, their chances of accessing the sort of job which they are eminently capable of is slim. Now, if a black person was making this video, they would be quickly dismissed. They'd be dismissed as having an axe to grind or always trying to find problems. And again, that's part of racism. The fact that I can speak because of my white privilege means that I have a duty to do so, not because I'm married to an African woman or because I have many African friends, but because I like to think I'm a decent human being who appreciates the value in every person on our planet.
Yes, it is the irony for me, isn't it? It is ironical that they visit Africa, they get treated so well, and then you visit their own country and you are reminded that you are black. You know, in the way they treat you, in the types of jobs that are available to you, in the type of rules regarding visa restrictions, and so many other things. But here is a man who is sharing his experience of, you know, how he was treated in all of the African countries that he has visited. He mentioned Nigeria, Malawi, South Africa. He mentioned a lot of African. Egypt. The guy is well traveled, and he mentioned how in all of those countries he was treated well. It was made to feel welcome with respect. And I think he's also married to an African woman from Zambia. So he has a lot of African experience. I think this is an amazing something for him to share. And also the fact that he's acknowledging a lot of this shortcomings in terms of, or should I say imbalance? Yes, a lot of is addressing the imbalance in terms of how they get treated on the African continent, and how Africans sometimes get treated on, you know, in their own countries or in Europe and all of these other places. And you know, some people have come out to say, well, even though he's saying these things, it doesn't mean that he has good intentions, and it is not a good look on us as Africans to treat them well when they visit. It just shows that we feel inferior to them. It just shows that we are we are worshipping the white skin. Some have called it Stockholm syndrome. Some have said, you know, some African people only treat these white people well when they visit, but when their fellow African people visit, they do not treat them half as well. And a lot of things, you know, people are saying no, when they visit, we are supposed to give them the exact same treatment that they give us in their own countries. We are not supposed to be welcoming our oppressors and all of that. And I really don't know, guys. This is the thing. I feel like, for example, in a country like Nigeria, I think it is generally an African thing. I think Africans generally are hospitable people. They are welcoming people who always want their guests to feel at home. I think it is an African thing. And I know here in Nigeria, as I was about to say before, when people come, Nigerians are also very hospitable. So if you're a white person and you come, even if he gives you maybe more attention that you'd have gotten if you're a black person, I think that novelty would only last for a day. You know, after that day, everybody moves on and they treat you just like everybody else. And I think like the average Nigerian would not tolerate being treated or being talked down to like in their own country. You know, there's even this trending song one time where I've forgotten the name of the artist that said, you cannot treat me, you know, some type of way in my own country. So the average Nigerian has that mentality. A Nigerian will treat you well, they'll welcome you as long as they get the vibe that, you know, you're on the same footing and you are treating them equally. The moment they start to get the vibe from you that you are feeling superior, you want to start to be condescending or something, they will change it for you. They will not take that from you. At least that's what I know, you know, as the average Nigerian. However, maybe in places of high authority, maybe these people might get preferential treatment by virtue of the fact that maybe they have money to spend and all of those. But I know that when it comes to like the average Nigerian everyday interaction, I don't really know if there is a feeling of they are superior necessarily. This does not mean that it is not true. There might be an element of truth to that. And, you know, some too who have said some African countries, they get treated better than fellow African brothers and sisters. That is very unfortunate if that is true, which I'm guessing it might be in some places. I think that is extremely sad if, you know, and that should not happen. That should not be the case. That should not be the case. And those are talking about is Stockholm syndrome and da, 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 da. I really don't know. But I do not agree with the sentiment that, we shouldn't welcome our oppressors and all of that. This guy was not even alive. Even his father, his grandfather were probably not alive as well when their ancestors committed these atrocities. So I really do not think that this man coming by himself now and being referred to as the oppressor, I really don't know. I feel like we need to not allow our views to be so narrow-minded that we start to view people who were not even in existence, despite the fact that we know that they are still enjoying the privileges that are accorded to them because of the deeds of their ancestors. I don't know if we can completely, because of that, blame them and treat them a certain way, except they prove that they do not deserve to be treated well. So I feel like, because honestly, it is very, very sad that when Africans travel to their countries, they end up highly skilled professionals in Africa here end up taking jobs that their own citizens do not want to do, like jobs in care, in cleaning, and all of these things. You see highly skilled professionals here going there and taking up these jobs because their qualification is not being recognized, their experiences are not being recognized because they got them from Africa, because of visa rules and restrictions and all of this. Because again, in their own country, Africans are not rated. They don't rate your degree, they don't rate anything, and it is quite unfortunate and sad. However, I do not think that treating them badly when they visit our country is the solution to changing their minds, or making the government or making people see other people as just people and not their skin color. I don't think that when they visit our country, our continent, treating them differently than we do, which is the solution. So I do not agree with the sentiment of those who are saying no, we shouldn't, because a lot of people have actually been saying it is not a good look. Like what this guy is saying should not make us feel good. It is not good that we are treating them that way. We shouldn't. I don't agree with that. I feel like you cannot fight hate with hate. I don't think so. But anyways, guys, I think this guy has got a good head on his shoulders, and I think yeah, you can change the world one person at a time, and you have to be the change that you want to see in the world. But anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I really want to know what you guys think, because honestly, my thoughts are just all over the place. I don't really know how I feel about some things, and some other sentiments that everybody's just sharing. I don't really know, but overall, I think it's good on this guy, and I think we should continue in our goodness as as Black people, in being hospitable to others. So again, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.